There are plenty of massive soccer or football stadiums, depending how you say it, in this huge world. But today we're going to land planes in each of the 5 biggest, and number 1 is in a country that you'd never imagine. And our first stadium is First National Bank Stadium here in South Africa. As you can see, it actually looks pretty good in the sim. I was surprised that this one's a hand-modeled stadium. Some of the other ones probably won't be. And this stadium holds, let me look at my notes, 94,763 people. And I forgot to mention that we will attempt to do this in a bigger plane each time. Now, the top one is probably not going to be easy with the big plane. None of these will be easy, period. So maybe we'll try with the big plane and then do a successful attempt with the smaller one if possible. Here we go, over the edge. It looks like the field itself isn't really very modeled, which I'm kind of surprised about. But we will try to loop around here. For this plane, the Savage Norden, you have to hold... Ooh, that actually wasn't too bad. You have to hold the flap button to keep full flaps. Oh! Well, there's kind of a ramp there on the side, but there we go. That actually wasn't too bad. But that is just number 1 of our 5, and as you can see, that's a pretty big stadium. So let's go to number 4. And next up, we are in California, if you couldn't tell, with the wonderful scenery. And this is the Rose Bowl. I can't speak. I believe one of the World Cup's final matches, I think, was held here in 2014. Correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, I'm not a big soccer person. Now, this is just a photogrammetry stadium, but it actually doesn't look half bad as far as photogrammetry buildings go in the first place. Now, my idea is maybe to come in from this side and then use the actual seats as a ramp because it looks pretty smooth to stop. We're in the Cessna 172, so this one will be more difficult than the last by a very long shot. But let's turn around and see what happens. To make matters worse, we definitely have a lot of trees to deal with on our way in. I may drop our flaps when we get close to the ground. Just stall and see what happens. Here we go. We are idle throttle. Let's go less flaps as we go down. Stall. Come on. That's definitely rough. Can we stop on the bleachers? Oh! Well, I'm not gonna lie. That one would have been the end of us. We're gonna call it like that anyway. Anyway, this was the Rose Bowl, the 4th biggest soccer stadium in the world, with a capacity of 95,542 people. That's bigger than some cities, for reference. And next up, this one a lot of you may recognize. This is, if I'm saying it right, Camp Nou in Spain. If I'm incorrect, please let me know down in the comments. This thing is beautifully modeled. Let's hope the floor of this is actually where the floor should be. A lot of stadiums don't get that right. But we are in the BN2 Islander. As I said, bigger plane each time. I've added a little bit of headwind, as you can probably see from my plane moving around. And we're just going to see how this one goes. Be interesting to see how the wind behaves. Coming off the building, we're getting absolutely blown around now. Going idle's a little scary because sometimes you just lose. Oh, like, what the heck? Come on. This is not going to go well. Come on. Just fall down. There we go. Oh, yeah. So to redeem myself, I've hopped into the Zlin Shock Ultra here. We're going to try to do this first try. Just get in there. Full truth, this is second try already. Just saying. I screwed it up the first time, I'm not going to lie. We're going to try to follow the stands around a little bit, loop down into the stadium, and get a decent landing. We'll do my best shot. We have no wind as well, so this is all sterile environment. The issue is you don't want to get your descent rate too fast, because then when you go to land, you're always going to be way too quick because you picked up a lot of airspeed. So I think looping around like this is definitely the right move. I'm surprised I can even fly under this overhang thing. Usually stuff like that would be solid and you would hit the ground. And here we come. See how I'm slow now? I should be able to touch down. There we go. Oh, redemption at last. We'll do a little drift into the middle of Camp new. The third biggest soccer stadium in the world, which for the record holds 99,354 people, but the top two are both over 100,000 and the top one is way over 100,000. Let's get to them. And next we're at Melbourne Cricket Ground. So we're here in Australia, and this might be the coolest looking hand-done airport that I've ever even looked at in the sim. This is my first time here. I didn't know that this existed done this well in the sim. This time we're in the DHC-4, the Caribou. Like I said, bigger plane. If we don't do it though, I will get a smaller plane. I think my idea is to do the same strategy as our last one and go around in a loop before getting too low in here. The issue is this plane is going to react slower to my inputs, so I don't know if we'll... Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. Oh, now to hopefully get redemption, I've spawned in the regular Savage Cub, which should be a little bit more difficult than this Lin Shock Ultra. So we're following suit. It's going to be more difficult each time, even if we don't do it with the first plane. And again, we're trying the loop method, but I can't get too close to the bleachers on the right because I think I can't fly under this overhang. So we'll have to be very precise, very careful. There's 38 knots. We'll have to preemptively... Sorry, see, I just hit something. I don't even know what I hit. Ignore it. It's okay. Preemptively start turning, like I said. We should have started a little earlier. And we're going to have to remember that we're going underground. So we'll go underground, level out, and then stall and stop, hopefully. Oh, we definitely bumped something, but that kind of worked. And for the record, because I think I forgot to say it, this stadium holds 100,024 people, but our final one holds 1.5 times that much. And in all places, it's in North Korea. Let's go check it out. And our final stadium, like I said, in North Korea, this is the 1st of May stadium. It holds an absolutely insane 150,000 people. That's probably all of the people in North Korea. But as you can see, we're in the Beluga. We're gonna try something a little bit different for this one. I've set the headwind to around 90 knots. We're just gonna try to stall and fall down in there. Now, I don't think it's gonna work. I do have a backup plan if it doesn't, a different plane we can use, but we have to successfully do this since this is the last one. So let's see what happens. In a bigger plane like this, the wind does feel a lot more steady. I may increase the headwind. Oh, we're getting framey there. Slightly more. Yeah, there's 90. Let's go to 100-ish. There we go. 122 knots. We'll need something like this if we want to kind of just float down on in and not make a whole mess of it. We have to time this perfectly though, because this plane is much bigger. So we have to fit through this gap, which is not going to be a ton wider than our wingspan. Obviously, this is a huge stadium, so it may be a lot wider, but oh, look at that angle of attack. That is not good. Come on. Power on. Power off. I'll just keep the stick back. Fall in. Oh! Oh, auto throttle came on to try to save us. I will turn the engines off if I have to. Don't put it past me, buddy. I think we try to shut these engines down the moment we get to where we want to get. Engines off. Pull back. We're trying to stall here, baby. Come on. Fall straight down. Yep. Yep. Come on. I don't know what we hit there. You know what? That actually, pardon the underground thing, wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. But there is our 5 landings in the world's 5 biggest soccer stadiums. Let me know in the comments where I should land next.